Hi guys, I'm Monica. I welcome you all to my channel Aerocar. On this channel, we will be learning concepts of aerospace and aeronautical engineering. Initially, we are going to start with the concepts of aerodynamics, but before we dive into the subject, there is a learning tip I have that I would like to share with all of you. That is of 3 W's. When I say 3 W's, it means what, why, and where. What means what does the subject or topic talk about? And when I say why, what is the reason that you are learning a particular topic or subject? Why you are gaining knowledge about it? You need to know the reason. The third W says where. Where am I going to apply the knowledge what I have gained from a particular topic or a subject? So I would like to suggest all the students to remember these 3 W's whenever you are learning any new topic or any new subject. Without any further delay, let us start discussing about the subject. We will consider 3 W's as our base, that is what, why, and where. These 3 W's. Now, before we understand what aerodynamics talks about, let us try understanding the term aerodynamics or the name aerodynamics, which in itself has a meaning. In order to understand what the term aerodynamics means, let us break it into 2 parts. The second part says dynamics, which means study of motion. Now, if I add a prefix to this and call it aero, it becomes aerodynamics, which means study of motion of air. So we are done with first W. But now here I have a question. Is this one sentence enough to tell what aerodynamics talks about? Study of motion of air. Does that say it all? Or is there something we can add more to it, or what more aerodynamics talks about? So there are a few terms that we will look at. The first term I'm writing down here is direction. The second, I would say speed, and third, I would say effect. Now, what aerodynamics talks about is in which direction the air is flowing, what speed the air is moving with, will it have any effect when it hits a particular object or a surface or touches a particular surface or an object. So these are some of the concepts which aerodynamics talks about. So now we are done with our first W, that is what. We are remaining with the 2 W's, which says why and where. Now these 2 W's will be considered in our application section. When I say application, for example, aircraft. Now, are we going to directly move to aircraft because we are discussing about aerospace and aeronautical engineering, or the concepts from aerospace and aeronautical engineering? Let us keep aircraft aside for a while and come to real life. In real life also you will find many examples where you can find the applications of aerodynamics. Let us consider a very small real life example. Consider that you are sitting in front of a table fan and holding a piece of paper. Hold the paper at its tip and the other side will be left down. Sit in front of a table fan and put it on the lowest speed and observe the movement of the paper, how the paper is moving. Now, increase the speed of fan a little. You'll observe that there is a change in movement of paper. The way the paper is flowing changes. And if you further increase the speed, you will observe further change. One more change what we can make in it is, you can make the table fan moving in directions. There are two operations you have in a table fan. That is, one in constant direction and one it will be rotating in 3 to 4 directions. Now what happens if you put it on the direction mode, you will again observe there is a change in the movement of your paper. The way the paper is moving, there will be a change. So this is our first basic example. Now moving on to our aircraft, the main reason why all the aerospace and aeronautical engineers learn aerodynamics, that is flow over an aircraft. But are my applications only limited to aircraft? Do we have applications of aerodynamics in other fields as well? Yes, we do have. For example, automobile. We have applications in automobile, flow over automobile. If you have any duct, for example, the blowers which are placed in function halls, that is flow of air through a duct. That is one of the example that you have. Then one more common example that you can give is of a spinning ball which the bowler on the cricket field spins it. A spinning ball, this also has an aerodynamic application. Then you also have a windmill. So these are some basic applications that we have discussed in our video. Proceeding further, we will discuss the important terms which we are going to encounter, or we are going to see them as we proceed with the concepts of aerodynamics further. Now, what are those 4 important terms? As I have given you a hint, they are the 4 important terms or frequently used terms. Now, when I say pressure, if you're traveling from Mumbai to Ladakh, the atmospheric pressure that you're going to feel in Mumbai and the one that you're going to feel in Leh or Ladakh will be different. And in technical terms, if we have to talk about pressure, it would be stress at a particular point in the fluid. This is what is pressure. In mathematical formula, you can write it as force per unit area. The second term which holds the importance is of density, which means mass per unit volume. The third important term is temperature, which talks about measure of degree of hotness. So how hot is anything, either it be any solid body or any fluid or air. What is the degree of hotness, which is what is told by temperature. Now, if we consider aircraft as our example, aircraft flies in various regions. If you're flying from Mumbai to New Delhi, for example, in the season of winter, winters in Mumbai are different and winters in New Delhi are quite different. So this temperature comes into picture over there when you are flying in such different regions. For example, there is an aircraft which is flying from the southern region to the northern region. Again, the aircraft will find a difference in temperature, and not only temperature but these two quantities as well, that is pressure and density. So this is the prime reason. The change in these parameters is the prime reason we consider or we use them frequently in aerodynamics when we are studying the subject aerodynamics. Lastly, we have flow velocity. Now, the flow velocity, the velocity clearly indicates with what velocity the air is flowing. The reason it is termed as flow velocity. So in this video, I'll end it up over here with these 4 frequently used terms. We will be discussing more important and interesting topics from aerodynamics. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned.